So 2020 was the year of historically low interest rates. 2021 was the year where we had unprecedented home price appreciation. 2022, well, halfway through we really got socked with a lot of high inflation and elevated interest rates. What does this mean for 2023? What is going to happen? What are the predictions? Stick around, we're going to get into that today. Hello Central Maine, it is your realtor Nick Isgro with eXp Realty, and today we're just going to do a quick video of what my predictions are as we're headed out of the year into 2023. A lot of people might be asking right now, are we going to see a 2008 home price crash? I don't really think so, and we're going to get into that, so you want to stick around for that. Now before I do, if you've never been here before, we cover all things real estate here on this channel, particularly here in the state of Maine. If that's of interest to you or adds value to your process in the buying and selling of homes, do me a favor, go ahead and hit the like button on this video, hit subscribe, knock that little alarm bell. You'll be notified every time we put out new content. All right, I get it. We're all shell-shocked from 2008. I bought my first home in 2005, right at the peak, and I had to sell it in 2008, right after the crash. So I totally get where everyone's coming from, but the conditions were just so unique. I want to go through those today because I feel like describing the conditions that we would need to see compared to where we are in order for that to happen will in itself explain to you why I think I really have a moderated view, just like I had a moderated view coming from 2021 into 2022. There was a lot of kind of chaos at the end of last year, a lot of talking heads saying we were going to have this massive crash. It didn't happen. In fact, we had one of the strongest pricing spring markets historically ever, and Americans are now still holding on to historically high home equity. So what is the prediction? Well, first of all, inventory is going to be the canary in the coal mine here. Inventory, as we always say, it's always the number one thing that we have going on right now because it is the historically low inventory that is keeping prices high, even though there has been a shift in the market. We've had elevated interest rates, we've had a reduced buyer activity in the market because of that. But in spite of that, prices are still reasonably high comparatively to where they were. There's definitely still appreciation cooking into the market, and homeowners are on average here in Kennebec County anyway, getting about 98.5% of the list price when they close on the sale. Yes, that does take into account the fact that there are some price reductions occurring in the market, but regardless of that, homeowners are still getting the majority of what they're asking for. In order to have the kind of inventory that we would need, we would have to see a massive, massive flood of new homes hitting the market. To give you an example, here in Kennebec County, we closed out last month just shy of 2 months worth of inventory. Nationally speaking, there's about 3.5 months of inventory on the market. A balanced market, where it's neither a buyer's market nor a seller's market, 6 months of inventory. So we would have to essentially 10x the inventory that we have now to see that kind of movement in the market that we would say, oh, we're gonna have this kind of big 2008 style crash. But on top of it, we not only need the inventory, that would assume that a good chunk of that, like a quarter to a third, was selling at a steep discount across all price categories. So not just one little segment of the market, but a broad spectrum across all categories. So chances of us really getting into that kind of inventory numbers and those kinds of broad discounts, just not very good. The next reason is that really we'd have to see massive layoffs. Right now, the American consumer, particularly the American homeowner, which is majority middle and high income earners, are at historically high levels of home equity that was not there during the last crash, but because of stricter lending standards, because of better quality loans that have come onto the market over the last 15 years, these loans are less likely to go south. And if they do, the home equity is there for these folks to cash out or have that kind of safety net if they need to borrow against that to get through a tough time. So we would have to see kind of massive layoffs, again, across middle income and high income earning people on a massive scale in order to trigger something that would then maybe eventually trigger the inventory going over into those higher levels, and then that might eventually trigger, them selling at a steep discount. But all in all, if you're out there and you're looking to buy, this should be a sign to you that it's very unlikely that we're going to see some kind of major crash over the next year. Yes, there is probably a recession coming if we're not already in it, but those forecasts are frankly quite moderate. And even if they weren't, outside of that 2008, almost every single time, home values went up during the recession. So that's really it, everybody. Headed into 2023, I kind of have the same position that I had a year ago when everybody was freaking out and they were watching the news. Kind of a more moderated position. I think the market is coming into a really good place for the consumer. Sellers are still getting strong pricing. They're still getting a lot of what they're asking for. Buyers, on the other hand, are actually having a chance to get in there and negotiate and get into these homes that they've been looking for. I think we're going to have a robust spring market, although it will be more moderate than what we saw last year. We've probably seen a lot of the peak on interest rates. A lot of the forecasts are showing that, yes, the Fed may do another hike or two, but wouldn't be surprising to continue to see mortgage rates coming down now as we head into 2023. So that's it. I know every one of you out there watching this video has your own predictions. Go ahead, drop a comment below. Tell me you think I'm crazy. Tell me you think I'm right on. Whatever you're thinking, whatever your thoughts are, would love to hear from you. Of course, if you are in the market, you're thinking about getting in the market, and you are looking for a real estate professional to work with, all of my contact information is linked in the post of this video. Of course, as always, I thank each and every one of you for sticking around to the end of this video. And until the next one, I'll see you next time.